So why are you here?
Well, we're all here today because we're so worried about this proposed redevelopment of Manston Airport. At a time when we know we've got a very limited number of years in which to bring down our carbon emissions, we're aiming to cut our carbon emissions by 50% by 2030 and zero before the middle of the century. It's crazy that we're developing new airports because we know the fastest growing source of CO2 emissions is air travel. So we've got to get out of our aeroplanes. We've got to stop building airports and supporting the infrastructure that allows these aeroplanes to fly. We've got to find much better ways of moving goods around, moving people around in a planet-friendly way, in a low CO2 way. And that's why we're here today, to make the people who live in Ramsgate and Margate and on this part of Thanet aware of the implications of what's going to happen if we allow this airport development to go ahead. It's not just the local people who will suffer because of noise and local air pollution, but it's going to knock a huge hole in our ambitious CO2 reduction targets. We've got to stop it being developed. We've got to find better ways of doing things.
I'm here because basically I don't want any more air pollution, and I don't want an airport right on my doorstep being there. We just can't afford to increase air traffic. We just can't do that.
Yeah, where do you live? How far have you come from?
Well, I live in Herne Bay, so I don't live that far away, and I'm going to be directly over the flight path of this new thing if it ever gets going, and I just don't want the air pollution near me.
Butcher?
Hello.
How's it gone?
Not bad. We've had a bit of support, a bit of aggro.
Excellent.
Yeah, more support than aggro, I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm here to draw attention to the fact that the government have acted illegally about the opening of a cargo hub here at Manston. They are completely going against their commitments, their legal commitments to the Paris Climate Agreement, and various other commitments to reduce carbon emissions to net zero by 2050. And they can't do that if they're opening a cargo hub right here in an area that's surrounded by sea anyway. So it's absolute nonsense, and they cannot and they should not just get away with making arbitrary decisions that may have nothing to do with their commitments and our well-being.
So do you think the government are too much sort of aviation focused?
Yes, they are, and we've seen it all through this COVID period, when they've been giving bailouts and grants to airline companies and to organisations that are developing airports without putting any strings on, without putting any conditions that would say, if we give you money, if we bail you out, you've got to work hard, you've got to develop alternative fuel sources, alternative engine types, and get the CO2 down and stop using the aeroplanes so much. So our government isn't doing a lot. In fact, it is encouraging the very behaviour we've got to stop. Our government is pumping money into airport development, into infrastructure for air travel, and we've got to divert it into more responsible modes of transport. We should be investing in railways, in public transport, in cycling. Obviously those are for short distance travelling, but for long distance we've got to find a cleaner, better way of doing it. Should be investing much more in low CO2 fuels and in low CO2 transportation, such as low CO2 ships.
My daughter, who is a glaciologist, who's been in the Arctic Circle for the last 10 years, she sees the glaciers disappearing. So it's happening, it's here. The fires in California and in Russia, it's happening. We've really got to get on it and start taking action now.
I'm a local person, and I'm here really to show that despite what our local MPs are saying, that the local people are not all in favour of the airport. as they would have everybody believe. There are a great many people that are very afraid of what's going to happen to our town. And a lot of people lived here when it was an airport, I included, when it was just a small regional airport, which is what it was built for. And to think that it's going to be a massive freight hub with aircraft going all hours of the day, and we know that their night time begins at 11 o'clock and finishes at 6 o'clock. Well, for those of us that go to bed before 11 o'clock and maybe sleep after 6 o'clock, especially anybody who's got children getting to school and things like that, that's a huge worry. So yes, I fear for the future.
Is this Ramsgate? You're a Ramsgate resident?
Ramsgate, yes.
Because the planes are going to be landing or coming into land very close to rooftops through the town, but particularly Nethercourt, aren't they?
Nethercourt and Cliffsend here.
Cliffsend
yes,
here,
yes.
Yeah.
So it's horrendous, really, to think about it. It should never have got as far as it has, to be honest.